Welcome to the Barrier Breakers Corner, where we step out on faith and defy the odds. Quite recently, we celebrated the mothers, acknowledging all the things that they do for us. Today is solely for the fathers, and our theme for today is celebrating the fathers, and I'll be your host, Isaka Abdullahi, a missionary by calling, a project manager by profession, and also the co-founder of Flows Couture. We will all attest to it that the role of fathers cannot be sidelined in the society. And with us today, we are fortunate to have a father and a son duo. We have Mr. Sorie Koroma and Mr. Emmanuel Koroma. So I will want them to introduce themselves to us.
I'm Mr. Sorie Koroma, a teacher by profession and based in the Gambia.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
And I'm Mr. Emmanuel Koroma. I'm a human resource manager and operations manager at one of the best hotels in the Gambia.
Actually, one of the people that causes the staff to be afraid. Whenever you hear the HR is calling you, you begin to think about what you've done. Nice having you on set today. To begin with, we have a nice game we want to play, and that is where we are going to make use of this flip chart. So I would like you to take your flip charts, and I'm going to ask you some questions. And the game is just a simple game. How well do you know your son? How well do you know your father? So I'll ask you quite similar questions, and you will write your answer in isolation from his own board and make sure nobody sees. And with a countdown from 3 to 1, you show it to the camera. So my first question to Mr. Emmanuel Koroma. Mr. Koroma, my question for you is, what is your dad's shoe size? The way you are confidently writing is as if this is an easy one. Okay. In 3, 2, 1, you show your answer to the camera. Daddy, you show your answer to the camera if you've written it. Okay, we have size 8, we have size 42. I think you have to clarify, because this one, I get quite confused when I hear size 8 and I see size 8 too. So, Mr. Koroma, Mr. Emmanuel,
Yes.
Which size is that one? Is it UK size or American size?
UK size.
You know, I'll let my production team check for me. Maybe it's highly possible you just get, because you just did it so quickly, and the man we are talking about took his time to write it.
No,
So
because I know I wear 43, and I know my leg is bigger than his a bit.
So you just dropped it by 1. Okay. But then is that your size?
Quite right.
It's
yeah.
quite right.
It's right.
So it still fits within like that.
Right.
When I was young, a man used to tell me that if you wear 42 open and 41 close, and like I've never seen anything like 41 close, 42. But they all understand what they do. This is what they do. So my next question is to you, Daddy. I hope you are ready for me.
Yes, I am.
What is the favorite color of Mr. Emmanuel Koroma? In 3, 2, 1. Okay, someone went more detailed. He said white and blue. And Daddy said blue. Nice one. The next question goes to Mr. Koroma, which will be the last question. What does Daddy do for fun? I know this one, Daddy is even thinking about it. You ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1. Yay, you got it right. Watching TV. Nice one. So, Mr. Koroma, the Koromas, this is going to be an interactive session. And the question to you, Mr. Koroma, I would like to know what is your best memory about Daddy and why?
I think growing up, one of the fondest memories that I have of him is that there's not a day that my dad will come home and come empty-handed. And this is something that, being a father now, I've also, it's a habit that I've developed. growing up, my dad would always come home with fruits and ice cream and the likes, and we always looked forward to that. And even now, I can be at work and my daughter will call me and say, "Daddy, I want banana, I want apple." So, and it's something that it's not difficult for me to get used to because I saw him doing that. So that's one of the fondest memories that I have of him anyway.
So this next question goes for both of you. Anyone can pick it from there. So how has fatherhood been for you? How has fatherhood been for you?
It's a blessing anyway, I must say. Especially in the morning time, when I wake up and look at my wife and my kids, I mean, the joy, I just cannot explain it. And then even closing from work also, and you know, when you get home, your wife and your kids are there to welcome you. It's just, it's a blessing that I just cannot explain. It's amazing anyway.
Well, I think it's a very good experience that is worth having. You know, you have somebody around, kids that you can, you know, you can mentor. You have kids you can give instructions to, and that kind of, you know. So in fact, that one has made me, even in the school, in education, I see the students there as my kids. You know, I'll get them when I'm ready for them. I'll deal with them if I want to, and then I can also pull them closer, give them words of advice and all of that. So such that most of them now in the school sometimes they call me grandpa. You know, that father figure is there, and it's good. It's an experience that is worth having, and we want to encourage every young man to go through that experience, because it's a fulfilling one anyway.
So, you know, as a follow-up question from what you just said, you know, knowing you as a teacher, we have an impression of teachers to be very strict, and they are even stricter when they are home. First of all, is it true?
Well, at some point, yes. For me, because now when I go around town, I see some of my past students. They will still be wondering, are you still the Mr. Koroma that we used to know years ago? But now you're a bit calm. You know, when I came into the field, I was, well, the exuberance and everything was there, trying to get the kids to what we want. But with time, you know, you begin to deteriorate, you begin to go down, and so now when they see me, but the Mr. Koroma we used to know, it's not the Mr. Koroma now. And the age has crept in, so you know. But sometimes when I want to be serious, I can be serious.
So how have you been navigating the life of a teacher and your life as a dad? How are you able to draw a line between? Because sometimes it is possible that you will be in a house and you have a teacher, but you don't have a father. A pastor's kid once told me something that in his house, he doesn't have a father, he has a pastor. He's staying with his mother and a pastor. And he said it's because his father is not able to divide himself when he has to be a pastor and when he has to be a father. So, Mr. Koroma, how have you been navigating?
Well, I think just like you've said, now when I leave the house and go to the school, I'm a teacher. And when I leave the school and get to the house, I'm a father. I don't mix the two. Even with them, when they were growing up, we don't have anything like, come, you take your book, you do this. No. Purely father and child situation. But when I get to the school, even in the school, we seldom, when he was there, we seldom see each other. Once I get to the office, except the friends will tell you, but your father is the principal, go, he's the father. And he will not come, not the daughter. My daughter will not even come around.
He knows when to be a son and when to be a
yes, when to be a daughter in the school. So we don't cross. When I'm in the school, I'm a teacher. I treat all of them equally. When I'm in the house, I'm the father. I'm there doing the father duties. And
I think growing up also, I get this question a lot that your dad is very strict at school. Does he beat you at home? And funny enough, I can't remember one incident that my dad has beaten me. Usually when he wants to communicate something, just from looking at me, I know exactly what he's trying to communicate. But to say your dad is strict at home now.
You know, I have a follow-up question on that one. Sometimes it's easy to make people understand that, oh, when we are at home, I'm his child, when we are in school. But you know, we still have that unspoken rule of you are still a young boy, you are now maturing. Keep quiet and listen to me. So at what point in life did you see Mr. Emmanuel as now he's a big boy? Or did you even sit with him to talk about it that, oh, daddy, chill, right now you should understand I'm a big boy. At what point did you come to that conclusion?
I don't think we've ever reached that point with him. When he completed school, then within myself, I took it that he's now a mature person. So I allowed him all that, to go on with that maturity. Except when he has things, doubts, he will come back to me to ask questions, and I will give him answers.
You still need a Jethro in your life. So at what point did you come to the conclusion that I'm now a big boy, I no longer have to ask daddy for ice cream, I shouldn't expect bananas from him?
I think after graduating from completing high school, and then I started working, at some point I felt like, okay, I needed to be independent. So I got my own place, and then a couple of years after I got married. And rightly, as he said, he will never impose things on me, but if he sees me doing something that he feels I'm probably making a mistake, he would always call me and advise me, but not to say he will impose that you have to do this and do this, because now he understands that I've also got my own family that and this is something that sometimes African parents don't really understand, but I'm happy that I have a father who understands that. He understands now that I'm a man and I can also make my own decisions.
Talking about African fathers, we have an erroneous impression that men do not talk in Africa. And if men talk, it's either my way or the highway. So we have homes where daddy doesn't say a lot of words. So the moment daddy speaks, daddy has spoken, everybody begins to hide. Daddy is about to talk, everybody freezes. So, and it has caused some fathers to be very firm on their male children, and they are so loose, they are so soft when it comes to their daughters. Is there something you want to tell upcoming fathers or fathers who are even treading the same path of men don't talk, it's either my way or the highway? What do you have to say to them?
No, I don't think that is something that is a good practice anyway, because I believe you should be able to treat all your kids the same way. And for me personally, now that I have kids, I understand certain things that my dad was trying to instill in me back then when I was young. Maybe at some point I felt like he was being very strict on me because I'm a man, and then maybe he was a bit flexible with my sister. But now being a dad, I understand that he wanted the best for me. And the world we live in is a tough world, so you have to be, as a man, you also have to be tough. And he was preparing me for that, and I'm grateful anyway. He has shaped me to be better anyway.
So a follow-up question. Is there something that, if you cast your mind back, you would have done better as a son?
Yeah, I used to be very stubborn anyway. So, and growing up, probably because of the environment that I was in, I used to love fighting a lot. So, but even with that, he has never, he would always correct me, but he has never been harsh on me for that. So, I think that's the only thing I would have.
I think I would have loved you to be my friend when I was a child, because I was just surrounded by bullies. And looking at how tough I look right now, I was always being bullied, but I was the guy who always talked. My mouth can beat you, but my hand cannot beat you. So, Daddy, to you, what do you think you could have done better as a father to Emmanuel?
Well, I think just pushing him, to, as rightly said, not a while ago, that I was really preparing him for the future, what he's now facing. Because at some point, the mother will always say, you're too harsh on the boy, and, the girl is like that. I said, no. I treat all of them equally. They're children. I'm not, the reason why maybe you think I'm tough with him is because he's a man. For her, the girl, she will have to get married, and then, somebody else will come around. But for him, if he doesn't have anything, no woman will look at him. So he has to be tough, up and walking, just like myself. People say I'm a workaholic. I work all the time, I do, but I thank God for that, because that is what has made me what I am. I work a lot, and that is the thing too that he too is doing. He works, and he's so serious with his work. That is what the kind of thing I instilled in them. You have to be hardworking, and it is out of hard work that you succeed.
So this question is for both of you. So how can a father and a son have a healthy relationship? Because it's a question we don't talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, but from my own point of view, well, there's the saying that you have to be a mentor. The son should see exactly that your yea is your yea and your nay is your nay. And I believe by doing that, you'll be able to, because it's not you saying one thing and then your son sees you doing something else, and it becomes a problem. So you cannot get him to do what you want him to do. Because for example, well, in some homes, you have the parent smoking, and then the parent will tell the child, when we were coming up, we were like that. We lived in an environment where our cousins, will send us to go buy cigarettes and all. But we saw it when growing up. You saw it as something not good enough. So we veered away from it rather than following in their footsteps. And so it's the same thing. Because we were in the house, we were together. It's only when he got married that he moved. But we've been together for years. Since he was 4 years, when he came from Freetown, 4, we've been together. And until he completed high school. So there's everything copied, well, most of the time copied from me. And sometimes even in the school, they say, but you are just like your father. You were behaving like your father. Yeah, but we've been there for all along. Not that he was somewhere and I was somewhere else. No, we were together. Unlike some homes where you have the father is somewhere, the son is somewhere, they meet only at some point. And, I believe, the good example should be followed. Or rather, the child should be taught. The son has to be taught those things. Because I believe you cannot just get up and be there.
So you lead by example.
You lead by example.
You lead by example.
Exactly.
I like this father-son duo, but I really want to hear your part. What role did you play for this? Because in a relationship, it's not one-sided. Since it's a relationship, it is either two or more people. So what was your role in making this father-son relationship a success as it is today?
I think, from my own point anyway, when it comes to even my job that I'm doing now, if I'm doing so well in my job, it's because of him. And the reason is because I copied, seeing him, I try to emulate what he does, especially when it comes to school. Everybody who knows him knows that he's a very principled and a very strict man. And it's the same thing with my job. The kind of field I'm in, you need to be very, very disciplined, and sometimes you need to make very tough decisions. And he's somebody that when it comes to making decisions, he doesn't waver. He makes the right decisions, and I'm grateful for that. And even the communication. Sometimes now both of us are busy, we don't talk every day, but sometimes a couple of days he will call me. How are you doing? How are the kids doing? So we try to keep that. Even though I'm a grown man now, but we still try to keep that communication going. I would call him, or sometimes if I close from work, I'd always pass by the house to check up on him and my mom and to know how they're doing. So we try to keep that bond anyway, and that's something I'm grateful for.
I like the free flow of the whole father-son thing. Now you are a father, Emmanuel. I would like to ask, what do you really love doing with your children, and what do you look forward to as a father?
By the grace of God, I'm blessed with 2 daughters, and yes, beautiful daughters, and they're very smart. In fact, my first daughter, she behaves exactly like my dad. She's so much into academics. Even at home, she's just 2 years old, but the things that she does, sometimes, I told my sister last week, I said, she's just like a genius. I mean, at 2 years old, she's already doing multiplication and addition and those things. She has her own tablet that sometimes I will take videos and send to him just to see that, oh, see your granddaughter. So I try my level best to make sure I spend much time with my kids. Even when I close from work, no matter how tired I am, they'd always pounce on me, and I never tell them that, oh, daddy's tired. But I try my level best to make sure that because that's something that I was blessed to grow up with. The kind of bond I have with my sister also, we're very close. So I try to make sure that I have the same with my kids, and even make sure that my kids also have the same bond also growing up.
So, Mr. Sorie Koroma, there are fathers really struggling to have relationship with their sons. Is it the way you've been talking about you being a mentor? He's talking about, oh, he's firm with his decisions. Some fathers are struggling to have such relationships. So in the morning, what you see is a monster has woken up and the prey is running away. So daddy calls and you want to run away. The first thing you want to do is, I want to leave the house. What would be your advice for such fathers? How can they have a better relationship with their sons?
Well, thank you very much. That's a very interesting question. But I just want to add to what he said, the previous answer. You know, my wife will always say, we have, our heads are big. You know, that's what she will always say. And our big heads, you know, the things that are in there, you know, just academics. That's like he's saying. She will say, look at your granddaughters, their heads are like yours. I mean, this is just book, even with the gun, you know. So that thing has been in them. If I can remember, there was a time I traveled to Nigeria on an assignment, and then we went to town, and I bought novels, you know, used novels, brought them to the hotel, and then we were out. So when we got to the customs here in Banjul, they were shouting, my friend, come with the bag, bring the bag here. I think there's nothing in there to go through customs. They wanted to see it. So I reluctantly took the bag, I brought it to them. The customs officer opened and then dipped the hand in the bag and took out the books. Hey, what are these? I said, they are books. I told you they are books. He said, I said, for my daughter. He said, you're doing well. He said, this is the best gift you can do to a child. I said, what is it? I said, I'm an educationist, and so therefore, this is the only thing I think I can get for them.
You can't give what you don't have.
Yes, that's the thing. So he was very happy. He said, if I can be like you, I'll be. You know, but it takes one to do that, you know, because today, the world we are in is very materialistic. Very, very materialistic. Except you have to, but tell the child that, no, this is what is good for you. Sometimes it's very difficult with them. I remember, when I was, back when I traveled to Nigeria and back, all they will request, can you bring us phones? Can you buy phones for us? Then, you know, when mobile phones were just coming in. And I will make sure I buy for them, I bring. And when I bring, I hand it over to them without any rules. Because some parents say, when I give you this one, you have to do A, B, C with it. But when I give it to them, they know exactly what to do with it. Then the Android, you know, they know what and what and what. But one thing I loved about them, book was, my daughter, anytime you come to the house, you find her reading. Even where we were staying, people never knew them. Yes, there was a time my neighbor came. He said, my friend, how are you training these children? I said, there's nothing extraordinary. They're just following my footsteps. When I close from work, I get into my house. The next time you see me again, it's in the morning to go to work. They know it. So we don't, except when for very important occasions I'm invited, I can attend. Sometimes I'm accused. When we invited you, did not come. I said, please forgive me. That's the way I was brought up. It's not going everywhere. You know, all of the time moving about. So people don't, sometimes you don't even see me. My next door neighbors, they will not see me. But as soon as I come from work 5, 6, I'm with them, we chat, watch TV, go to sleep, everybody goes to sleep. And then the following morning, early morning 6, I'm out. Yes, for work. The only time you see me is work. From work, I'm back. You know, so that's the kind of life we've lived. And so, with the parents nowadays, we have young parents now. And even in the school, that's what I used to tell them. That they have an advantage. They have a very big opportunity now to have teachers who are young people, who can mix with them, who can, talk to them freely. Unlike our own days when we were in school. You will not become, when you see the teacher with the white beard and everything, you will not dare to go close to them.
This brings me to something. I was talking to a young guy, and young in the context of like Emmanuel, with reference to you, and whenever he sees a father and a son have this relationship, he will always say, this reminds me of my relationship with my father. So one day I asked, how has your relationship with your father been from childhood? He said, we never had what I admire always. And he still contacts the father, but you could sense that tension when they are talking, even on phone. It's like a commander and a subordinate.
Yeah.
So for that, I would like you to give an advice, a tip on how to melt that tension. Because I can see the guy is really trying to have that father-son relationship with his father. But this is not him doing it to his son. It's him trying to have it with his father. But it's as if you and Emmanuel have had a smooth relationship from the onset. Could you drop some nuggets as to how you built this such that fathers who are still struggling right now, they can mend all those gaps?
Well, like I said earlier on, the world is materialistic nowadays. And one thing we have to teach our children in the broader sense, is to be content. They have to be content. Give them what you have. Don't give them what you don't have. And that is what brings about problems between parents and their children. Was it in the newspaper? I saw 2 days ago, I was reading the newspaper. And then the caption, a son was taken to court because he threatened the lives of the mother and the daughter. Can you imagine that? I don't know. It's because we're not being true to them. We're giving them false hope. I tell them, when I have money, they know. When I don't have money, they know. When I have, just like he told you, when I close from work, I will go. When I was in Banjul, I will drop at Westfield. I will get for them groundnuts, banana, mango, when they're in season. And I'll bring home. Now when I bring home, I will not tell you, you have this, you have this. No, I'll put it on the table. Sometimes I bring it out. I bring it for them, just for them to feel. Even with bread. I buy the bread from Westfield or whatever, I take it home, and they eat. Sometimes you have the other things, the accessories, jam, mayonnaise, and he was even good. He was even fond of that. He will come he collects whatever he will collect, go to his room, and then the mom will always go there, you like it, but that is what it is. When it is there, you give it to them. And that is what parents, fathers should learn to do. And we should not, it's not all the time you have to give the child a free will to do whatever he likes. Because that again is another problem. And when they grow up, when you want to control them, you cannot. You can't. There are times you need to, the carrot and stick kind of method. You pamper them when there is need to pamper them, and then, sometimes you strike them when the need arises.
You know when
to balance,
when
to be yes.
Whilst you were talking, I was admiring the gaze from Emmanuel. Like he's just looking at, okay, that's my role model, okay, that's my mentor. I love the next thing I want to do to you right now, because this is actually not common in the African context. Hardly do we really vocally appreciate each other. So I could see from his gaze that he really admires you. And the way you talk and you keep using Emmanuel as an example, everything shows you are proud of him. But today I want us to do it in an extraordinary way, where we are not going to watch it in a movie, but we are going to be the actors right now. So I would like you to look at each other and say something very nice to each other, because I believe you really appreciate your dad. And I want the whole world to see today you telling dad how you appreciate, or dad telling you how proud he is of you. So now I leave everything to you. We are all watching you. So you can look at each other and say something nice to each other.
I know this is not something that you probably might remember, but I think about 2 years ago when the incident happened that you fainted, I remember being home and my mom called and said, you had fainted. And I remember then I was just about to eat, and that feeling that when she called me and crying, and I felt like I had lost my dad at that point, is something that I prayed to God and I told God, this is not the time, please. This man has struggled so much for his kids, so give him many more years so he can at least enjoy everything he has labored for. And I remember going home that day and not seeing you at home. I was confused at that point, and nobody even been able to tell me what was going on. And I remember when you came home, the joy that filled my heart that day was, I could not explain it. And I know I don't say this much to you, but I love you so much, and I appreciate you. You, to me, I see you as a living legend, and as much as a lot of people outside value you, but I value you more, because I know that I wouldn't be where I am today if not for you. And I'm grateful for all the support. Even now, there's not a time that I would call you or for any assistance, and you will not even hesitate. So I just want to say I'm grateful to God for that, and I pray that God will give you many more years to come, so you can enjoy everything that you have labored for. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, and well, I'm also happy and proud to have a son that appreciates what I've done for you. Because looking at the world today, it's difficult to get children to appreciate their parents. But I feel proud that there is somebody who recognizes, my efforts and what I have done. But I continue praying. I will pray for you that God will continue to guide and protect you, and give you the unction to provide for your children now, so that they also will enjoy the warmth, they will enjoy the goodies of a father. Thank you very much for appreciating me, and all the accolades that you give out. It's not today. Sometimes when you post on WhatsApp, people will sit and say, your son sent this one, and I say, well, it's not me alone. It's not the only one too. Students that have passed through my hands and everything, they send me such messages, and I feel very proud to know that it's a role that I was sent to perform by God Almighty, and I'm doing it to the best of my ability, and I thank God that people like you and others appreciate whatever little I've done for them. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
That was amazing, and I believe I was not the only one who felt what was happening in the studio here. Hardly do we see this happening in homes, and I believe we are making history. I must confess, I never had a moment to tell my dad that I love him, and I believe wherever he is, he knows that I love him. I think I'll do better, and I'll encourage my children to do so. And I want to advise you and tell you that it is possible to have a better relationship with your son. Regardless where your relationship is right now, you can pick the pieces back together, mend them, and you can be a better father than you used to be. But before we leave, Barrier Breakers Corner has a gift for you. I would have loved you to guess, but this is something you will never get, even if you guess 100 times. But I'll give you a shot. I will not disturb Mr. Sorie. I will disturb Mr. Emmanuel. What do you think the gift will be?
Food.
Food. Looking at the body, somebody said, if you look at the body, you should know the motivation. Barrier Breakers Corner, we want to help you capture this memory so that you forever remember the day that we were able to talk about each other, compliment each other as a family. So, in collaboration with Set Shot, we are giving you a free family photo shoot. Right after this moment, you can put the family together.
Wow.
And we can have a nice photo shoot session.
Thank
you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's a surprise.
This is Barrier Breakers Corner, where we step out in faith and defy the odds. A big thank you to the Koromas for joining us today. And we all want to say Happy Father's Day to all fathers across the world. Enjoy your day and have a nice relationship with your children.